Welcome back to No, I'm Just a Worm with your hosts, Ann Jeanette.
And Jess?
And in this week's episode, we're talking about how social media is fake. You know how you can't trust anything on the internet?
Mm-mm.
Well, it's very, very true. If people aren't outright lying to deceive people, then they're just kind of putting their best foot forward. Ow. Almost fell
Yeah.
off the chair.
It's been a rough morning. Uh,
Oh, God.
we came into this with little fucks given.
Yeah. Very, very few. The
I've been up
arm
for an
of this
hour.
chair. I've been up for 5.
Too many.
Yeah.
Too many.
Yep.
No. But I think what prompted us to do this was I think just the illusion that when you see influencers online, you see other friends and stuff online, not everyone is putting all their business out there. Like some people do.
Yeah.
Some people share probably way too much.
Yeah.
So there are some out there that are just this is it, like good, bad, the ugly, the in between. But most people, and again, especially I think like internet celebrities and stuff, obviously, for the most part, aren't going to show you what's actually going on in their life.
Yeah, for some people like internet celebrities, like it is kind of their job to make their life look as glamorous as possible. And there are a lot of us out there that compare, even though we know we shouldn't,
Yeah.
but they'll compare their life to the life of a celebrity. And it's not fair for one thing because they're not showing their whole truth.
Right.
And, one, they don't have to because you don't have to actually like put everything out there. Like you said, not everyone does. And not everyone should, really, because there are people out there that are going to take advantage of any kind of information that you put out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, mental health wise, though, it is not good to compare your life to someone like Jeffree Stars, like we talked about in the last episode, how he just bought a multi-million-dollar mansion. And there are not a lot of ways that you can um, resonate with anything that is going on with his life. Like he's a millionaire. He has an elevator in his house.
What?
He has the back cave of garages for his custom pink fancy ass sports cars. I'm not a car person, so I don't know what kind of cars these are, but they look expensive.
Corvette, Lamborghini.
I think they're like the fancier ones.
The fuck is what?
Like Lambos are too
Oh, are they
pedestrian
or
for
do
him.
they 290s?
Yeah. I want to say, I don't know. They're names that I've never heard of because I've heard of Maserati, I've heard of Alfa Romeo, and these cars.
Bugatti.
That might be one. I don't know. I don't know. I have a Jeep, so
I have a Kia.
like we are not car people. We don't have fancy ass cars. We have cars that can get us through snow.
Priority up here for sure.
But so like it's when you have someone like if you try to compare yourself or your life to the life of Jeffree Star, you're gonna have a bad time. And that's like, that's obviously a huge like way out of left field example, but even if it's someone who's like more attainable, it still can't compare.
No, because I think there's plenty of people on my Facebook page, like friends that I've either worked with before or have been friends with for a very long time, and they're just at different spots in their life than I am.
Yeah.
So they have opportunities maybe to go on more vacations or to do more upgrades to their house or buy like a nicer car because they've worked for it and they've earned it. And sometimes you might get like I hate like a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Like one of my old
you are those people.
I know one of my old coworkers apparently is on her way to Africa right now. She's going to Johannesburg, and I'm like it, fuck you.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
I
no.
don't. But there's no reason for me to be like I hate like it, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Like I've worked with her. She works her ass off. Her husband works his ass off. Like they've earned this trip for sure.
Yeah.
But I think like you said, if you don't look at what you have and like what you could be working towards, or just appreciate the things that you have in your life, you start to get an unrealistic expectation of what life should be like for you specifically, and
Yeah.
you don't appreciate what is in front of you and the relationships that you do have, and you start to get kind of sucked into this like utopian idealistic world online that's either just not real and is it just completely fake, or like is just not where you're at in life right now.
Yeah, like everyone has a different journey. Everyone's, chapter one is going to be different than whatever, and you can't compare someone else's chapter 20 to your chapter one. That there's like a fucking inspirational quote that you can find on the internet that says that. But like it is true. You can't like it is not healthy to compare. It does not make sense because you don't know what they've been through, what they're currently going through. You don't know the struggles that they've had to go through to get to where they are now. And same thing, like if you have someone who's like, oh my god, like, or with like a talent or something that
Yeah.
you have, like, oh my god, you're so good. Like I'll never be like that. And it's like, do you know how long I sucked
Right.
in order to get here? Like I get that all the time as a fitness instructor, full fitness instructor. We're like, I teach the beginners class, and I'll have students come in and be like, "Oh my god, you make it look so easy." I'm like, "Do you know how long I made it look like shit?" Like, like the only reason that I can even like vaguely look as good as I do now is because I sucked for a long time. I struggled for a long time, but I kept going.
Yeah.
And that's all you have to do. Like you have to just keep going.
I think when I was at the studio, and I think like I mean I'm sure you probably still experience this now, or you still look at somebody doing a move or doing a routine that you want to do and you're still struggling out so hard and you're like is am I ever gonna be good at anything ever?
Yeah.
And but I remember and this can kind of go to any I think art or any type of thing that you're working on. I don't remember if it was Sarah, if it was Lucy, one of them. I was getting really frustrated with, and I think the whole class was just like having a rough day, and they were just like, "Listen, like what you're trying to learn now is going to be your warm up one day." And I
Yes.
remember the day that like that clicked with me because I think I was still working on inverts, and that was my warm up, which just crazy inverts, and I was like, "Oh, she's right. It happened."
Yeah.
It happened. But I mean, that's just one of the things that it's just you have to put everything into perspective. And I think
Yeah.
the amount of hours that we as a society anymore spend on the internet is just
Yeah, you can kind of get
skews everything.
tunnel vision with it instead of looking at the big picture. Um you're only looking at it like with your blinders on and you're like, "Oh my god, it's just this one thing." Instead you're not like taking everything into consideration like product reviews that you see on Amazon or on a brand's website. You know, me personally, I always want to take reviews with a grain of salt because
Yeah.
you don't know if that person is trying to be completely unbiased. You don't know how long they tried out the product before they were like, "You know what? I'm finally like throwing in a towel. It's not for me." Or if they're because there are brands out there that will pay people to write good reviews too.
Yeah. I think there's a
So,
lot of there's a couple articles that you can read on like how to spot a fake review
yeah.
or like a bot review.
Mhm.
It's hard though. They're tricky.
Yeah, and that's what I say, like, bot reviews, that's a thing, and bot profiles, that's a thing. Um, they're, fake profiles, like internet celebrities, not even internet celebrities, but celebrities in general that have, social media accounts like Twitter or Instagram, Facebook, whether it's bots or if it's actual people that will try to clone their profile. Like they'll take their profile picture, they'll take their bio or whatever, they'll put it in this other
It's
fake
so
profile,
crazy.
and then they'll message people um asking for money or just doing just trying to take advantage of followers. And then those followers, some of them they get duped, and some of them will be like, they'll message the actual account and be like, "Hey, like there are people out here trying to like scam people for money. I
Right.
think you should warn people." And
Or
then
is this true?
yeah, like are you actually asking people for money? Like what the hell is going on? And then, pretty much 10 out of 10 times they'll be like, "Nope, that's fake."
Yeah. I think was it the Firefly Festival?
Okay.
That whole so there's it's on Netflix, right? The whole documentary about it.
Yeah.
So, but that just goes to show though like how just something as simple as influencers, good photography and just like mystery online marketing kind of pulled all of these people to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a music festival that like wasn't real at the end of the day. Like they were legit trying to get bands and stuff to come out, but it was like very last minute and very like I don't hate Blink-182. I like them, but like, would you really get Blink-182 to headline a festival on an island? Like that should have been a red flag right there. Like that's your headliner.
I mean, in today's day and age, yes, maybe. If it were like
It was 20
Warped
years ago.
Tour.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this I mean, I think for like this type of entertainment that they were trying to put on
Yeah.
was kind of a red flag. I mean, I think for this kind of like festival, like I said, on an island, very exclusive. You know, you're supposed to have like your own small private jet that flies you out,
Oh,
and all
Jesus.
yeah, that's how they advertised it. And they had like different packages, obviously, and like on their tickets. But
Mhm.
I think like the biggest package that you could get is like you go to the airport, like a smaller jet picks you up that's just for festival goers. You were supposed to like basically kind of get the red carpet treatment when you
Wow.
got there. You were supposed to get like the not bungalows, what are they called? The fancy tents that you can stay in.
A yurt?
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, no, really?
Yeah. Yeah, no, legit. Like it was supposed to be like a yurt that they had set up on the beach.
I always think of like cats with little yurts. That's the only thing I think of when I hear yurt. I don't think of it as like an actual thing.
It's just something completely fabricated.
Yeah.
No, it's real.
Yeah, there was like a meme that's talking about like, oh, here's just my cat with his little iPad and his yurt. And I'm like, fuck.
Oh, but they had yeah, they like so that's what they advertised. And I think, you know, you could stay in a yurt that was supposed to be super fancy, and of course they had like pictures of it with like, you know, this fancy bed in it and like some stuff where you could put your clothes in, or you could like upgrade and stay like in a cabin, and just all this ridiculous like you're gonna spend $20,000 on this ticket, but you're gonna get treated like a celebrity would, like have a full celebrity experience essentially.
Again, that is the price of a car that's
I
not
don't
for Jeffree Star.
No.
Like,
I don't remember if I mean, the tickets were very expensive. I think they probably, if not more expensive than that, but it was astronomical amount of money.
and all these people got fucking duped.
Yeah. So when they got there, it was like a shady ass plane. I mean, it was like for festival goers, but it was not nice. It was not a nice fancy plane. They all just got put on like a fucking school bus, sent out there, and then like, I mean, as this is happening and festival goers are coming in, like they still have nothing really set up. So like the yurts were tents that they set up for like that FEMA uses for natural disasters. That was their yurt. And like the mattresses and everything, like they were trying
It's an
to
air mattress.
they were mattresses, but they were trying to get them set up the night before, and they didn't have enough time, they didn't have enough staff to do this. So half of it ended up being outside and it ended up raining. So it was just
Oh
it
my
was a
God.
shit show. So all these festivals go get there. There's like one fucking restaurant on this part of the island that they're at who's like, like
Oh
I may
my
or may
God.
not have enough food for all of you people. So they're trying to scramble to like get the stuff set up, figure out where the hell to send these people when they get there. So they're basically just like shoving alcohol in their face. And you know, at first people are like, "Oh my God, you know, we're here at Firefly Festival, and look at this amazing island." Ba 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 ba.
The Fireflies are the Fire Festival.
Firefly,
But
fire,
with like
whatever.
fire
Spelled wrong.
FYRE,
I
I
think.
think. I think Firefly is a thing.
Firefly is a thing. I'm sorry.
See, the internet's fake.
It is fake. I'm fake. I'm really a bot. I'm not real. She didn't program me right this morning.
Yeah, I didn't charge your batteries last night,
No.
so
No, you are correct. It's the Fire Festival.
Fire.
Fire. But yeah, it was just they were completely duped, and then like trying to get off the island because like I bet you know they realized it was fake, and they're like, you know, we want to go the fuck home.
yeah.
That was a whole excursion. Getting the island in and of itself, they were going over like a whole bunch of stuff, like the people that were behind the scenes and involved with this whole situation. It was a nightmare. Like originally, the island that they wanted to get used to be owned by Fidel Castro, and the family was like, no,
Yeah.
no. Not only that, but I don't think it had like the plumbing and stuff either. Like I think the island was kind of like a
You could
dropping
shit in the
point.
ground.
Yeah. Here's your shovel for your latrine. We'd prefer it if you dug it over here.
Yeah. What kind of name is latrine? They used to be shithouse.
Love,
Good
me,
shit.
love me a man in uniform.
Oh God, it's a good movie. You gotta
It
watch
is.
that again.
Yeah, but that was I think like the one of like the meccas of just false advertisement on the internet and how everyone just got so easily sucked into it. And like when you went to their website and stuff, you really didn't get any information. And their like
Yeah.
commercial and stuff literally didn't really tell you anything. And
Yeah.
people were just like, oh, I just want to live that lifestyle. I want it. I gotta have it.
And
And
I
they got
have the extra
fucked.
thousands of dollars to blow.
Mm.
But so that's something that like you have to do your research on, do your due diligence, make sure that it's legit. Just like buying anything on the internet too, like Wish.
Oh yeah.
There are a lot of times where like so Wish is uh a company that advertises a lot on Facebook, and yeah, I sometimes it goes based off of your Google searches or your Facebook searches and
Hmm.
stuff like that. It'll come up on like
You're suggested.
Wish is like the bastardized version of something that you Google search
Yeah.
for. Because normally like you'll get like Amazon ads like on the side, but Wish will come up while you're scrolling.
Yeah.
In between like status updates and whatever. But some of the things from Wish seem like, oh, that seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I know our friend Leslie orders from Wish a lot, and she's had some good experiences, and then some not so much. So, like for your surprise party, she was looking for like the bigger glass orb, and the
yeah.
one that she got from Wish was this big.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's like the people that tried to order like this big like sturdy plastic like see-through chair like about the size of the one that you're sitting
Yeah.
in now. And when they got it, it was kind of like the size of that little pizza table.
Like a dollhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like, make sure you check product dimensions when
Yep.
you're going to order things, because they were like, oh my god, this is a great price on this chair.
Yep.
I would think that too. If you're trying to order a full size chair and you're buying something that's going to be for like $1, um, why wouldn't you check
Right.
product
Right.
dimensions?
Yeah. That's a big red flag, and I like online I will read a lot of reviews. But
Yeah.
what I'm looking for in reviews is like consistent feedback.
Yes. Yes. I look for
So
the same.
so if it's like consistently, you know, it's great camera for a starter person. If you're starting up on just like working on YouTube films or just, playing around with it, like this is a really good one.
Yeah.
Here are some of the downfalls that, may or may not be a big deal depending on what you're using it for. So like if I see like consistent reviews that are pretty much the same feedback, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
like I have a good idea that like this is legit, the amount of reviews that are left. Like if I see a product that's like 5 stars, but there's 10 reviews, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, like I'm not really comfortable with that either. It's just not enough
Hmm.
data for me to go off of.
Yeah. Like I need to gather a lot of data before doing that. Like on Amazon, I'll see if it has thousands of reviews.
Yep.
And then like you just said, like I'll look through and see what consistency there is good and consistency if there's bad and stuff like that. And then like there are verified users or verified profiles on Amazon, like sellers and buyers. So like that's one way that you can kind of like weed out the shit people
Mm-hmm.
if they're a verified seller. And they same thing with like eBay. Like on eBay you
Oh
could
yeah.
have like you can rate the people that you buy from, because that could be a lot of false advertising too. Like they're supposed to show pictures of whatever they're selling on eBay. Hopefully most people, if you're not familiar with eBay, it's just an auction website, so people can upload items that they want to sell and people can bid on it, and then you can put the auction up for like X amount of days, X amount of
Mm-hmm. You
hours.
can do like a buy it now price for
Yeah.
like do this either just flat out buy it now and or auction price to kind of
Yeah.
see like is it worth just paying the buy it now price or can I get it for cheaper?
Exactly. So like but there are some people that have like purchased from eBay and like the pictures were not what they got. The
Yeah.
pictures, they're like this is not what you actually were trying to sell me. Like the thing that I got is like
Falling apart.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's half what it was. But so that's that, but people can actually like rate the seller that they purchased from to be like, okay, yeah, like everything, all the pictures were real to life. It was a good price, blah blah blah
They
blah.
communicated well.
Yeah.
They was shipped out when it was supposed to be shipped out.
Hmm.
All that good jazz.
Yeah. So like that, I think has kind of been one way for people to weed out whether or not there's like shysters on the internet trying to sell them shit. Uh, I think Amazon does the same thing. Like you can review the seller as well
You
if it's not sold from Amazon.
Right. Yeah, you can. I mean, that's the thing with Amazon too that I had to learn the hard way. I didn't honestly realize is I just assumed it's being sold on Amazon, it's coming directly from Amazon, and there's so many third party products out there. And I had tried to order a pillow that I eventually got from Kohl's, but me and how cheap I am, I was like, oh, I can just get it cheaper on Amazon. Like this is like the exact type of pillow that I want. So I ordered it, not paying attention that it wasn't coming from Amazon; it was coming from a third party company, and like they completely like screwed me on this product. Like I never got it.
Oh,
Amazon
good.
worked with me and like reimbursed me my money, but it was like a whole. It took me like a week to like figure out who I actually need to talk to a
Yeah.
either figure out where my product was, which I don't think it ever existed, and two like
They just took your money.
yeah, basically, because they were like, "Oh, it's still in the warehouse," and I'm like, "Do you have one person working in the warehouse that's like just responsible
And
for
he's on
packing
break
all of
still.
these?" Yeah, oh, yeah. He went on break and never came back.
Yeah. He went out for a cigarette.
Yeah. So I mean, that was one thing I was like. Now I'm super leery if I'm ordering something on Amazon, like really paying attention to the receive it now by date if it's
Yeah.
coming from a third party, stuff like that. But yeah, I was like, wait, what? There's
Yeah.
third party? Like, why? Why?
And that Amazon Prime, it's worth it.
It is. It is so worth it. Not only that, but they have great shows.
Yes, they have that too.
Yes.
So,
That was why I kept it, honestly.
well, I also buy a lot of stuff off of Amazon because I'm a lazy ass person. I'm like, I don't want to have to go anywhere and get it. So, and when you can just browse through, like, there's hundreds of sellers on there, and plus Amazon itself will sell a majority of it too, or like the brands will partner with Amazon, so it'll be like, um, ships from Amazon, sold from whatever,
Right, right.
or sold from whatever, shipped from Amazon. Like it'll be one or the other. So if it's not shipped and sold by Amazon, it'll be one or the other from another company, but you can still get it Prime, so you get it in 2 days.
Right. But yeah, so that's just learning how to navigate. I think being a little bit more careful, online. And then I know just like on Facebook, like we were just discussing fake profiles and bot profiles and stuff like that. I had a friend of mine experience a couple of years ago. She was just scrolling through Facebook, and I think somebody had pointed it out to her. They were like, "Oh, this girl like is posting pictures of your kids, saying that they're hers." So she had stolen pictures of her kids. She was first time mom, so it's just every other post is just her kid.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, this other lady made a fake profile and was taking pictures of her kid and uploading them as her own. I think even of her boyfriend as well, some of them, and just like look at
Oh
my beautiful
God.
family, like first steps, all this other. She's like, what the fuck? This is not your family. Like I will cut you.
Yeah, like what one that just kind of shows the sad mental state of affairs that the person
Yeah,
had,
yeah,
that they wanted to create this fantasy that they had this, like, your friend's kids, your friend's boyfriend and everything like that, and
and it
it's
wasn't
sad, but,
like
like, it kind of just it's
yeah.
scary though.
No, it is. It is really scary. It wasn't like I don't know if this would make it like better or worse, but it wasn't somebody that she knew that was like kind of creeping on her and just taking it over the top or whatever. I mean, it was just like a complete fucking stranger that was like, "Yeah, your kid's cute. Like, I wanna live this life, and I wanna portray that I have this kind of life, and I have this kind of love." But the steps that she had to take to get that profile like deactivated and taken down and show that like this is not real and this is her kids that are being like stolen was it took
Yeah, I can imagine.
months for her to be like, "Yo, Facebook, like, get this shit off of here. This is not
Yeah,
okay."
because it's like when you try to appeal anything on Facebook, like, we were just trying to we're trying to reorganize our pages, our socials, and everything like that, so that we can try to make everything cohesive. So, I was trying to our Facebook page was still called Glitter Budget, and if you listen to our first episode, we explain it. It's the Labyrinth restaurant reference. Ay, it's a Labyrinth reference, and I was trying to change it to the name of our podcast to make it less confusing for anyone. But you can still search "No, I'm Just a Worm" and you will find it. It's just that the page will say Glitter Budget. So I was trying to change both, like, have the URL and the page name itself both be "No, I'm Just a Worm." So I went to go change the name, and then they denied the change, saying that we were essentially like we
Misrepresenting
were misrepresenting, we were like doing false
advertisement.
advertising for
Yeah.
what our page was. And their reasoning was like, so if your page started off as like I love New York and then you try to change it to I love San Francisco, that's like false advertising. That's you're misrepresenting yourself. Or if you had like, John Smith trainer and you're just trying to change it to John Smith, like you're also misrepresenting yourself. I'm like, you're not wrong, but it's stupid. Like
But I think in like those are very blatant, obvious cases though. I think in ours, I'm like,
yeah.
you don't even know what we do or what our page is about. Like, let's be honest here. So how would you even know like what we're changing it to is misrepresenting our podcast?
Yeah. I think because it's the words "No, I'm just a worm," like it that confused the Facebook robots or whatever. They're just like, no, I can't. You're not a worm.
Yeah.
You're a podcast.
You were glitter. Now
Yeah.
you're a worm.
I don't. No, does not compute. Does not compute. So that I think is kind of like I can see why it's hard to fight with these fucking companies because they have robots doing a lot of the work, like we mentioned in a previous episode, that it's just like they're the one like they to try to cut down on manpower and have like an algorithm figure it all out. That's where you get a lot of error
Yeah.
because robots aren't perfect, but in order to try to get in touch with like a real live person is very, very difficult.
If not impossible.
Yeah.
Like I don't know
But
if I've ever heard anyone successfully reaching a human being on like Instagram or Facebook for help.
yeah, they might not exist.
I don't think they do because like if you go to their, especially Instagram, like if you go to like the help page,
Mhm.
it's just this is what people have searched to get help on, and like these are like the steps that
Yeah,
you
you'll
could
get the help
take.
articles. And
Yeah.
they're like at the bottom of it, they'll say, "Was this helpful?" And I say, "No, I want a human. Can I just type in representative?"
Just have someone like FaceTime me, please.
There are some companies that their help center will like you could live chat with someone, like talk to,
Yes.
like type with them, not like Skype or anything like that or FaceTime or whatever, but like you can like live chat with someone, and sometimes that's helpful. But even then, sometimes it is still a robot.
Yeah, AT&T, it's still a robot. So like I was trying to get my account number and something else recently. So it was one of those times like I didn't have time to sit on the phone and I was trying to just in between patients, I'm sure we're at my lunch break, just get this done. So it had like the chat now thing. I'm like, oh perfect. Like I could just do this real quick. It was a fucking bot. It's like I asked what I wanted and it was like did not understand what I had wanted. And I'm like, I just want my fucking account number. It's like the most simple, straightforward
Error,
thing. Yeah.
error.
Once I realized it was a bot, and I'm like, you're not fucking helpful.
Like, fuck you, bot.
Poor robots are starting to become self-aware. This is why we're gonna have a bot uprising because we
Yeah.
talk shit on them so much.
The robots will take over. That's why it takes 5 years to render a video to get it onto YouTube. It's them just subtle ways where they're getting back. Like, you bastards.
Subtle inconveniences.
Because we want it now. We want immediate gratification.
Yes. But I think like some of those little nuances though of, people portraying their best life that isn't like 100% true or is definitely leaving a good chunk of the story out, could be a huge misrepresentation and, affect people, if they're trying to look at how can I get a better life sort of thing. But
Yeah.
I think it goes past that too to just having flat out false information out there that can be really hard to navigate.
Yeah, it could be harmless or it could be very, very detrimental. Ooh, a point that I wanted to bring up earlier about
Mhm.
like the someone stealing your friend's photos of her kids. That's why some people get all like up in arms about people posting photos of their kids because the internet is a very dangerous place. It can be a very scary place. And but because now not a lot of people take photos on film to have them like developed or anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
It's a digital world that we're in. And because we have all these social media outlets, we have Facebook, Instagram, blah, 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 people will it's not a new thing of people wanting to take pictures of their kids and show them to people. So they're doing that now on what the platform that they have available, which is Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that.
Right.
But then there are predators out there that will take those pictures and use them for their own purposes.
Right.
Or people that just want to think, hey, this is my kid.
Yeah.
You can't prove it otherwise.
Right. And well, I mean, I think that's when you really have to go like balls to the walls of in your privacy settings and just beef that up as much as you can. I mean, it's not 100% foolproof, but like don't make it easy, you
Yeah.
know?
And, for the most part, once it's on the internet, it's on there. You can't really take it down. But you can try to make it more difficult for
Yeah.
people out there that are trying to take advantage of either your information or your personal stuff and all that kind of
Right.
stuff.
You had that kind of happen to you a little bit, where like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
yeah, that other pole studio had taken one of your pictures.
Yeah, this other pole studio owner, I had pictures up on probably both my Facebook and my Instagram, and we were friends on Facebook. And she took one of my photos, and she was not very professional at all, and just took one of my photos, Google stock photos, and used them on her website for advertising. So, um, another mutual friend of mine on Facebook, she messaged me saying like, "Hey, this pole studio has a picture of you up on her website
Mm.
advertising for her studio." And I was like, excuse what?" So I was like, I contacted her and I was like, "Hey, um, you didn't ask permission to use that photo. That's false advertising.
Yeah.
Also, these other pictures are not of
You.
they're not of you. They're not taken in your studio. Did you even pay for these photos? Because I if you don't take them down, I'm gonna have to take legal action." And she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I saved it so that I could learn that move, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "So then how did you upload it on your website?"
Right. Yeah. It's just a bullshit excuse.
Yeah. She's like, "It was just a really pretty move. I wanted to, save it for later. I didn't even know what that move's called. It's a move called Go Fuck Yourself."
It's a move called, if you're teaching, you should already know what the fuck it's called.
It's called Be a Professional.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why you should.
There's no reason why any type of studio owner shouldn't be posting pictures of themselves in certain moves to show
Yeah.
like what they're capable of doing, their space and what they have to offer, So again, I think that's another
Yeah.
red flag when you're looking at businesses and if you're looking at their Facebook page of, looking at what they're posting, if it doesn't seem like
Yeah.
it's legit photos of their space and of them and it's like you said kind of like Google or stock images is probably a red flag. Like, I would rather see, like, a bare bones, "Hey, like, we're gonna be bringing more pictures and material out to you soon, like, as we have time or as we gather it."
Yeah, like our website's under construction.
Right.
Please excuse the mess or whatever.
Yeah.
But like with something like that, like I think she did fix her website, but it's still like I think she now paid for the stock images, but they're still not pictures of her studio. You know what I mean? Like so
Yeah.
like when you go on her website, there's different photos, but they're not photos of her or her students or any classes that she actually has in her studio or the studio of itself. So
No,
like that
I've seen, like, a couple people that, like, I'm Facebook friends with, but I don't even know how I became Facebook, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things I gotta go and clean up my friends list. But her and her friend they go to that studio because they'll tag it. So that's the
yeah.
only reason why I know what her studio looks like because it's just pictures of them, being posted, but there is no picture of like the studio owner. There is no like, hey, this is what we learned today kind of thing. Like I know some of the moves that they're doing, but I'm like, if I just micro bends and point your fucking toes and lean back and like, "Well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Who's teaching you this?"
Yeah. But that like it's just that's one thing that you have to look out for when you're searching for like any business in general, and maybe sort of like especially local businesses because you don't know if these people are are misrepresenting themselves, which is only going to hurt them in the end.
Yeah.
But just do your research, whether it's a small company or whether it's a large company. You still want to do your research because just because they're a bigger company and they have money to do all this stuff, they also have all this money to like
Fuck you over.
yeah to misrepresent themselves. You know.
Yeah. I think that too. Like I was doing like some quick research on like some of the top YouTube earners for our previous episode. And again, like I was looking at articles that had consistent information on it, but like the first article that I had read had a completely different list of the top, not completely, but pretty drastically different top earners of 2019. And then I found one on Forbes magazine, which is, a little bit more of like a reputable company that
Yeah.
I had sent you, I guess, to look over. And I was like, this is different. This is a
Mhm.
different list. Like which one's true?
Yeah, and like in instances like that, you're gonna have people that are gonna cater a list like that towards things that they're more interested in.
Right.
So it could be they could be talking about YouTube people that are that they like rather than objectively like, okay, these were the top earners
Right. Which
across the
that
board.
drives me nuts because that's like if you're going to talk about top earners, it's a black and white statement.
Yeah.
Like there really shouldn't be any bias or objective, or it should be objective. It shouldn't be a biased opinion because it's just fact.
Yeah.
Like it's just fact. Like either
Not
they earned more than the other, or they didn't. Like there is no. Well, this one may have earned 5 million more, but I like this other one better, so I'm gonna put them somewhere in the list. Like that's not how that fucking works.
yeah.
You're the top earner. You're not. Like
So that's the thing though. Like with a lot of the things that are on the internet now, subjectivity is like a huge thing.
subjectivity has turned into fact,
Oh my god, yeah.
and that
Anti
drives me insane. You are allowed to have your own opinion.
You're
You're allowed
entitled
to
to
have
your wrong opinion.
yeah.
I'm kidding.
No, yeah. Yeah. No, I mean you're allowed to have your opinion and your beliefs about certain topics. But again, in with certain situations there's fact and the way that it is, and then there's how you feel about that fact,
Yes.
which is fine. Like you might not agree with it. It might not mold into like your personal moral beliefs and your view of the world, but you can't sit there and say, well, because I don't agree with that fact or I'm not comfortable with it, like it's not real. It's not a scientific fact. I'm like, but that's not how facts
Yeah, you
work.
can't choose to ignore it. It's the real thing.
Yeah. And I think, and again, like we constantly bring up like the anti-vax movement because it has been disproven so many times. I think a recent research paper just was published recently.
I
I think
think they publish one every year saying, "Oh no, here's another one
one, yeah.
showing that there's no link between the two."
Nope. Yeah, I think this one I had pulled from a 66,000 kid. Like, so it's not like a very small pool of people where it's only like a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there. No, it's thousands of people that are
Oh wait, I think you have
saying
660,000 kids.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's no link, and what it is proving is that if you're not going to vaccinate your children, we're starting to get things coming like diseases coming back, like measles and mumps.
Yeah.
Um, like in the US, there's no reason at this point where we should have a single case of any of
Swear to God, if
those.
you guys bring back the plague, swear to God, can't
Uh,
blame rats for this one.
Please, really.
Yeah, well,
The fleas
amoebas
that
on
were
fleas on rats.
yeah. But I know recently in one of our local school districts, somebody had just posted an article where they're asking us to check their children for mumps. So and it's just like why? Like, and I know that there's movements that are starting to protect school districts and communities where, if your kids aren't vaccinated, then
Then
they're
they
not
can't come.
allowed
Yeah, they
in.
can't come to school.
And a lot of people are like, just, if that's against your religious beliefs, I'm sorry.
Then homeschool.
Yeah.
Keep the diseases in your house.
And there's a very small percentage of kids who can't get vaccinated until later in life for certain like medical
Medical reasons,
reasons,
yeah.
which is like it is what it is. That's legitimate reason.
But
That's
then they rely
fine.
on herd immunity. They
Right.
rely on everyone else getting vaccinated in order to prevent that one, immunocompromised person
Yeah.
from getting sick.
And just to put that in perspective, like a herd community only works if 95% or more of the herd is vaccinated.
Yeah.
So the second that you get to like even something as small as 93%, it starts to kind of go haywire and
Yeah.
and you start bringing back things like measles and mumps and whooping cough and all that scarlet fever and just all that other shit. Which ironically I had all as a kid. And I did ask my mom at one point, I'm like, you fucking vaccinated me, right? Like, why was I so sick with all this shit?
Meanwhile, she's just putting you in all of these really like disease-ridden places. Like, let's just see
Like
if
the
it'll
chicken
work.
pox parties.
Yeah.
Like we'll just beef up your immune system, you'll be fine. I'm like, no, get vaccinated. No, I was vaccinated. It was just a fluke. I was just a
Yeah, I
sick
mean, it's
kid.
not 100% that they're not going to get it, but they will still have the antibodies in their system.
Right.
There was the one person that we're friends with on Facebook, she posted like a little, I guess, a conversation that this woman was having with someone else, saying like, I don't see why you have to vaccinate. I don't, like blah blah blah. Why don't they just take a little bit of the virus and inject the kids so that way they'll build up an immunity? And you're like, do you have you ever? I don't know how you made it this far in life.
Yeah.
Like,
And
how have you managed to continue breathing?
what pisses me off too is like it's very much, I think, a first world luxury to have this kind of argument. There are certain countries that are begging people to have access and funds to be able to provide polio vaccinations, and so we've kind of gone over this ridiculous hill of how privileged can we possibly be that we're going to sit there and argue that vaccines do more harm than good, when there's people
Yeah.
out there like, I will give my firstborn child if you just vaccinate them.
Yeah. Or like the people that, so there's the other side of that argument where like, so you're saying it's, you want your kid not to get vaccinated, so thus get it more likely than not get this disease rather than some random chance that they would have autism, which again is not like
No, it's
is
not
there
true.
is no link, but you're saying you would rather them get sick from some kind of deadly disease than risk them magically getting autism from something that you made up in your head.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
so autism is worse than
Polio.
polio. God forbid.
Yeah. But I think there's that.
Again, no link, just in case anyone's
No,
listening.
no
No
link.
link between
None.
vaccines and autism. No link.
And it's Fire Festival, not Fire. I'm sorry.
Yes. We got to make sure that we are, we're not
Yeah, right.
misrepresenting ourselves. We're not trying to put false information out there, because they were like, you have to be, and that's kind of another thing. You have to be very, very careful what you say
And how you say it.
and how you say it, because people will take something that you say and misrepresent you.
Right.
Be like, no, no, no. She said, and they'll just take the
Like-
clip of what we did and be like, and
Yeah.
they'll like put it.
Yeah, so
and make
not
it sound
not
like you're being
not
an
Firefly Festival. That's in
Festival.
Festival.
You drunk? Go home.
Shut up. No, because I think that one's in Dover every year.
There's something, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I'm not a festival goer.
I'm not either, but I know friends of ours that live out in Dover who kind of complain about it every year because it just fucks up downtown Dover so
These
bad.
dang kids and their festivals.
It's like, so they've posted some of the stuff that they've seen, and it's pretty disrespectful to the area. Like, they trash it every year.
Oh, that's just festivals in general.
That's true.
Like, have you the Peach Fest that they have up here?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's just people getting fucking high out of their minds and wandering the woods of Montage.
Why not, like, because I've had people who go to both Peach Festival and then Camp Bisco.
Camp Bisco.
And
which makes me think of Bisquick.
Yeah. But I know they were saying like the goers for whatever reason at Camp Bisco are just fucking savages. Like, they're just rude and nasty to the point of like physical violence, where, I'd rather deal with a bunch of hippies essentially that are like just gonna get super high and just chill.
Yeah.
If they wander, like, whatever. At least they're not like,
Yeah.
I need to be close to this date.
What's the festival that's out in the desert in Nevada?
Oh,
I can only think of Sandman. Mr. Sandman.
no, it's
Sandman,
Burning Man.
Burning Man.
I was like, there's man in the title.
That's why I was like, Mr. Sandman.
Burning Man, yes.
Yeah, Burning Man. So that is just a bunch of naked hippies.
And honestly,
orgies.
like, there's been a couple of times that I've wanted to go. I know my sister was going to go, had she stayed in school, that was going to be her graduation like trip that she wanted to take.
Yeah.
I would never be able to survive in the I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm just not fucking equipped to handle something like that. But I have wanted to go just because, like, the amount of artwork that they have there
Oh
is
yeah.
amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And I know, like, one of the requirements if you're gonna put a piece in is it has to be somewhat interactive.
Yeah.
You know,
Which I
so
think is
whether
so cool.
yeah, so whether that's like you're climbing on it, you're able to add something to it, like whatever, like, it has to be somewhat interactive. And like I said, just the pictures that people come back with every year, I feel like I would want to eventually experience that at least once. But I don't think I could survive.
Oh
I'm just
God,
not equipped
no.
for that kind of life. Even
I'm
if it's just
not.
for a couple days. You would
No.
die. You would burst into flames.
There's way too much sun exposure there. There's not enough shelter. It would just be me under like, those like hat umbrellas,
Yeah.
but it would be me in probably like a
You'd have
full
to be like,
burqa.
yeah, I was gonna say you'd have to be like in a beekeeper type
Yeah.
desk.
Just where you can only see my eyes, but still I would have like shade over them
Yeah.
to protect my retinas. But I can't. Oh God, no. Even thinking about that is like, the desert ain't for me, man.
No, it's not.
I can't. My people weren't made for that. We've
Nah,
derailed this train.
we have so hard. Anyways,
Um,
going back to it, I just want to clarify that it was Fire Festival.
Fire
That was a lie. Firefly Festival
is different.
is different and is legit, and it's, I believe, held every summer in Dover, Delaware. But
Yeah.
just to clarify that, that was my bad.
She drunk.
I'm not. It's fucking noon on a Sunday.
It's noon 34.
Stop spreading lies.
You spreading lies, telling people that it's noon when it ain't noon. Bitch.
Shut up. Noon o'clock, noon hour.
High noon. Pistols at dawn.
But no, I think
The Red Bull's kicking in.
is that what that is?
Yep.
Okay. No, I just think though,
Not
like,
sponsored.
look.
Hashtag not sponsored.
She just has a problem.
I do. Please sponsor me. I buy enough of it.
No, but I think though our whole point, for kind of wrapping up our whole social media episodes was just to be careful. Like, there's so much misrepresentation and false information out there, and you need to really be careful and educate yourself on how to pick up on some of these things.
Yeah, like don't live and die by social media. It's meant to be kind of like a fun little, way to
It's-
connect with people
Yeah.
and to like share a little bit of yourself out on the internet, having fun with it. But like, it is the internet. Like, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. Don't believe everything that you come across because unless you like we've mentioned before, do your research, or like you have to vet it to know if it's actually true.
Right.
And same thing with people posting, extravagant things online. They could just be taking the picture for a picture's sake. It doesn't mean that like they actually are living this extravagant lifestyle. Like I was telling Jess the other day that there's one person that I follow on YouTube. Her name is Sam Ravendall, and she did a video of Instagram versus reality. So she is an internet celebrity. So she got millions of followers on Instagram from taking just really nice, just photos of herself, pretty much. Just she makes monies off of selfies. Monies? Multiple money. More than one money. She makes money from taking selfies. I too am not drunk.
It's a Red Bull.
It is the Red Bull. My mind is going faster than my tongue. But yeah, so that's one way that she makes money. And but she was like, okay, so these are all these really, really cool, nice photos of herself. And she's like, so this was in this photo, like I had just broken up with my boyfriend right before I took this photo because like I was on set and I had to because she did modeling and stuff like that. So that's when it is your job to put photos on the internet, whether just to like, because you have to be consistent with your content. There are going to be a lot of times where like what is represented is not representative of their life.
Yeah. I think a good one, because there are, I think, thankfully, I think recognizing this misrepresentation or just not understanding the full story of someone's life and all that. I know like some of the bigger celebrities are starting to try to shift that by going makeup free, like Alicia Keys, or posting more pictures of just their daily life. Like I know Chrissy Teigen's huge of there
Yeah.
is no rose tinted filter in her life. Like she's like, this is what it is. I have no issue of posting like postpartum pictures of what that recovery is actually like.
Yeah.
I have no issue of posting pictures of like, mom days of just messy bun and no makeup and we're just chilling like anybody else does.
Yeah.
So I think there's celebrities that are starting to kind of try to push it the other way of like, listen, like we're fucking people too. We don't wake up on a Sunday with nothing to do and have someone professionally do our makeup just cuz. Like we're just
Yeah.
chilling in our PJs like everyone else. Um that and then I think a couple years ago Lady Gaga had posted her documentary, was it 5'4" or something like that?
That was the name of it?
I'm gonna look. I'm pretty it was something weird like that. It wasn't like what you would think, but
Oh.
watching it though, it goes over her absolutely insane schedule. Like disgusting. Like I'm sorry. I love her music. I love her as a person. I would not want her fucking life.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that this is that's her job though. She has to do these
Yep.
things. So like her schedule has to be crazy. Same thing with just celebrities in general. Like that is their job to be on the
Yeah.
red carpet, to do all these
It
things.
was Gaga 5'2".
5'2".
Came out
She's
in 2017.
she's short.
Yeah, but she there's just a couple of situations in there where, again, like you said, she's being pulled left and right. No one's actually asking her. Like everyone wants to be around her and talk to her, but no one's actually asking her, "How are you?" Like I
Mhm.
want to know actually what's going on in your head. I want to know what's going on with your life. Like, how are you? It's just what can you give me 24/7? Just what can I get from you? But there was like one clip where she was going in for an interview, and I think it was an interview in New York. So it was either for like a radio station or like magazine, but her one good friend was fighting breast cancer. And I think she had gotten a call from her that it had she got bad news. It was not going well.
Oh
So
Jesus.
she's trying to like collect herself and just take a fucking minute that her best friend is just probably, unfortunately, not long for this world. And that's huge. That's heartbreaking. You don't have time, like you said, as trying to do your job as a celebrity to just, you know what, I'm canceling this. I need a mental health day. Like I need to like
Yeah.
process this. And this guy was a complete fucking tool to her. He's just like, are we gonna do this fucking interview or what?
Wow. I would have been like, you know what? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I'm done.
No, there was that, and then she makes no secret that she has fibro, so
Yeah.
she was going in to her doctor's appointment and going over like some of the symptoms, kind of where she's at, stuff like that, and she's like, all right, well, we're gonna try these ultrasound injections, just to help try to like alleviate some of the muscle tension, stuff like that. So they talk and everything. She leaves to like bring in the stuff to prep it, and so while she's doing that, like her handler is like, all right, well, when we're done this appointment, we have this interview, that photo shoot, blah 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 blah. So she's in her fucking doctor's office getting makeup done to just get
Oh
these
my god.
injections to get in the car to like go go go, and I'm like, she's a human being, like she is not here.
She is a commodity.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
that's what's just again, I every once in a while envy, just I guess the money aspect of it and just being able to experience some of these crazy things that celebrities have. It in a nutshell, like I would not want that life.
Yeah, like what in order whatever what they have to do to get that money might not be worth it. And
No.
that's not just the for celebrities, it's for like any job that you get like a lot of money, like, you know, doctors,
Mm-hmm.
pharmacists, uh fucking
Lawyers. Yeah.
lawyers, IT professionals. They can make a lot of money, but you have to do a lot of stuff in order to get to that point. And it might not be worth it. Like you have to actually look at yourself and be like, okay, is this worth it that I go through all these things in order to get to that point?
Right.
It's not all sunshine and rainbows for everyone if they make a lot of money. Some people, yeah, they could be, you know, born into a wealthy family, whatever.
Right. And I mean, some people like that are workaholics and they're addicted to that lifestyle and they're addicted to just constantly go, go, go and working. So I mean it worked for some people, but I think, for the most part, I mean there's plenty of times where I see in our little bumpkin town where I see people driving around in Land Rovers or Jaguars, stuff like that, like these multi like $100,000 cars. And I'm like, what do you do in this area to afford that? But I don't
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you said, I mean, they could have just came in for money. They could be plastic surgeon. I don't know. But like, and I don't know the amount of work and time and sacrifices that they had to make in their relationships and everything else to be able to
Yeah.
do that.
But you have like a lot of people have that knee jerk reaction of like, "Ugh, fuck that guy because he has something that I don't have, that I
Right.
want." And then you just really have to take a step back and be like, "Okay.
It might have not been that easy for him. Like God only knows what's actually he might be miserable. I don't know.
Yeah, you could have all the money in the world and still
Yeah. And
be
I
sad."
think it's just that just weird that's just weird misconception that like again money and materialistic things you must be happy. Like why wouldn't you be happy?
Yeah.
And again, I think it's that constant social media and just media in general, of just kind of pushing this in our face of like lavish lifestyle. Like you're gonna be happy if you have all of this kind of stuff, and you can go like on these crazy trips, and everyone's gonna be around you. And I'm like, everyone's gonna be around you, like you said, because you're a commodity, not
Yeah.
because they actually care.
Yeah.
Chances are there's gonna
Yeah.
be like that very small percentage of people around you that are your actual like close friend.
hmm
Everybody else is around you, it's just around you just to kind of suck off of
Yeah.
what you have to
Profit off of
offer.
you. So, like, that's part of kind of like what social media has done to all of us, like, just dehumanized us a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
where, you kind of you look at almost everyone as if they were a commodity, not just celebrities. You're not looking at the person as a person.
Right.
So, to wrap everything up again, uh, just try to be a little bit more compassionate and do your research when it comes to looking at anything online.
Yeah.
So don't take anything that you see online, social media, anything like that as if it were fact.
Yeah. Or that it's 100% the story that they're portraying.
Yeah, because that is just a tiny, tiny little, like, that's a blurb
Yeah.
in a chapter of their life. It is not everything.
Yeah. And I would encourage everyone, I mean, even like the two of us, mainly you, no, I'm kidding, to just try to take like social media as just very basics, the basics of it. You know what I mean? Like,
Mainly me because I'm actually on social media.
yes. I'm kidding.
Bitch.
No, I've just as just
Sorry.
give up.
I will.
No, I even admit like I'm probably on Facebook way too much, but just limiting your like social interactions online is to almost the basics. You know what I mean? Like the bare minimum of just having those connections with people that, aren't close or states away, and getting like your music online, just some of your like outlets without making it like your everything,
Yeah.
you
Like,
know.
it's unless it's your job, you don't need to be on there all the time. And even if it is your job, you need a break.
Yeah, yeah. Like legit, yeah.
You need to disconnect every once in a while. It is good for your mind to just disconnect from all of this for a while, just so you can kind of refocus and recenter everything and put everything back into perspective so that you're not looking at everything through the lens of social media, or like, because you get tunnel vision, like I said before, like
Yeah.
you got these blinders on that make you only see certain things.
Yep.
So
Read a
uh,
book. No.
get fucked. No, I'm kidding. No, but just take care of yourself. Be careful, do your research, and be more compassionate.
Yeah.
So with that being said, speaking of social media, we have social media. Good segue. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, and we have YouTube. Half of them are known as Glitter Budget, half of them are known as No, I'm Just a Worm. But if you look up No, I'm Just a Worm on any of the things, you will find us.
Yes.
And with that being said, we will see you next time. And we love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.